Greetings, my name is Jennifer Argentina from Fiddler's NEFAC, and today we're going to talk about setting up your first Google Classroom. Google Classroom is a free application designed to help students and teachers communicate, collaborate, manage assignments, go paperless, and stay organized. This is an introductory training that was developed for those who are brand new to Google Classrooms. There are additional links and resources included in this presentation. If you're viewing this electronically, the link should be clickable. We're in the process of developing a few more trainings on this topic and we'll be posting them as they're developed. Please continue to check our website for updates. So, some goals for today's session. Well, the first thing we're going to talk about is what is a Google Classroom. Then, how do I log into the Google Classroom? From here, we'll explore the Classroom navigation page. We'll learn to invite students to our class, and we'll set up your streaming and gradebook settings. A few things you might want to know. G Suite for Education. Well, Google Classroom is available to both personal Google accounts and G Suite for Education accounts. However, you should only use your Google Classroom with your school account. Google Classroom can be used at any grade level, depending on the skills of the teacher and the skills of the students. Students will need to be able to log in to Google Classroom using their Google credentials. To maximize the features in Google Classroom on the web, teachers and students should use the Google Chrome browser. Google Chrome is a fantastic learning environment for all things Google. Also, there's a Google Classroom mobile app. The Google Classroom mobile app is available on iOS and Android, although functionality will vary. A few more things you might want to know. Google uses tools and symbols across their classroom and other Google applications, including their mobile applications, to represent menus and more actions. When you see these three lines, that represents the menu. Usually it's talking about the main menu. When you see the three dots, that's essentially a representation that there are more actions or additional options and actions for you to access. Anytime you see these symbols, there are additional features, actions, and options that you can explore. Keep in mind, Google offers great supports and has a page dedicated to Google Classroom support. You can find that link at support.google.com/edu/classroom. The first time you log in, you will go to classroom.google.com. Here's what I saw when I Googled it. The first time you arrive at the Google Classroom website, if you've never logged in before, you'll see a screen like this on the right. Click Go to Classroom button. You'll then be prompted to log in with your Google credentials. If you're using your Google Classroom for K-12 students, you must use your G Suite for Education account. Essentially, it's your school login. After, you'll enter your email address and password and click Continue. Next, it's time to select your profile. Teachers, please select the teacher role. As the teacher role, you can create and join classes in Google Classroom. Under the student role, you can only join classes in Google Classroom. Note, you cannot change your role later, so be sure to select the correct role. If you or your student select the incorrect role, you'll have to contact your G Suite administrator to correct the error. Next, we'll talk about creating and customizing your class. To do this, you'll click the plus at the top menu bar to create a class. Then you'll see a screen that looks like this. Here you'll enter a name for your class, and you want to be consistent across all of your classes. You'll see there's some options for section, subject, and room, and these are all optional fields. When you're done, you'll click Create at the bottom right-hand corner. So this is your classroom navigation page or your dashboard. On the top left-hand side, you'll see those three little bars again. That represents your main menu. Here you can access all of your classes, your global settings, the calendar, and a few more features in this menu. Next, we have our stream. This is your communication hub where you can create and schedule announcements for your class. you can customize what appears on the page for you and your students in class settings. This is an area where you can set student permissions to post and comment. Posts are ideas, questions, or information that a student shares. Students can add files such as images, links, or YouTube videos to their posts. Comments are text-only responses to posts. Students can edit their comments or posts, but they can delete them as well. Teachers can delete any post or comment and see deleted post and comment history. In the class setting under General, next to Stream, you'll click Students can post and comment and choose a permission setting. We'll get to that later, but there are 3 different options, and you can decide whether or not you want students to post and comment, if you want them to only comment, or if only the teacher can post and comment. Again, we'll come back to this later. Under the Classwork tab, this is where you have the option to create, distribute, and organize assignments, questions, and classwork material. Under the People menu, you'll be able to add students and co-teachers to your class. Finally, we have the Grades section. This is where you can add and update your gradebook, and we're going to come back to this later in greater detail. The last thing you'll see over to the top right are your class settings. This is where you can add class details, access your class code, determine student permissions, and set up grading. This tab here, Class Details, is the first thing you'll see on your screen after you have clicked the Settings tab. Each class you create in Google Classroom has its own settings. Here you can update your class details with the class code. You can determine who can post or stream, set classwork notifications, and set up your grading. To access the class settings, you'll go to the class setting icon on the top right, which is here highlighted in blue. In the class settings under General, next to Stream, you'll click Students can post or comment and then choose a permission. As you can see here, students have 3 options. If you select Students can post and comment, this is the default option. Here, students can post to the Stream page and comment at any time. If you choose Students can only comment, students can comment on existing posts but can't create a post. And finally, if you choose only Teacher can post or comment, and students can't post or comment on the Stream page. This option essentially mutes all students. The next section in the class settings will allow you to set up your grading options. This is completely optional. You do not have to track grades in Google Classroom. For your grading system, you can choose total points or weighted by category grading. In both, grades are calculated for you, and you can let students see their overall grade. If you do not want to use a grading system, you can choose No Overall Grade. Grades won't be calculated and students can't see an overall grade. You can also organize classwork with grade categories such as essays, homework, and tests. For example, if your class is 4 essay assignments, you can organize them into an essays category. Adding grading systems and creating grade categories is only available in the web version of the Classroom feature, meaning it's not available in the mobile app. In class settings under the grading section categories, click Add Grade Category. Next, you'll enter a grade category. Depending on how you choose to have your grades calculated, you'll see the option to enter points or percentage. If you choose the total points option, under default points, enter a whole number. If you choose the weighted by category option, under percentage, enter a whole number. To save, weights must add up to 100%. Continue to add as many grade categories as you need. Once you've added your categories, points, and/or weights, don't forget to click the Save button at the top right on the page. Now we'll talk about adding students with a class code. This is the easiest option. To enroll students in your class, you need to invite them or give them a code to join. In some classes, In some cases, your school can add students for you. Note, students can unenroll themselves from classes. If they do unenroll, their grades are going to be removed. When you create a class, Classroom will generate a class code that you can give your students, and that will allow them to join your class. This 6-digit code is unique for the domain and to your class. Under the General section, you'll find the class code. Click the drop-down arrow to display the code for your students. Copy it, share it. If you want, here you can also reset or disable the code. As mentioned earlier in today's training, we addressed the following goals. Thank you for taking a moment to listen to this session. We know this is a tough time for everyone, but please know we're here to help. Please take a moment to fill out this survey with any needs or questions that you might have. We will then develop further training based on the responses we receive. You can scan the QR code with your camera app or just copy and paste the link in the address bar. Also, we would really appreciate it if you could take a moment to take our very short survey, especially if you enjoyed the content. Please scan this QR code or follow the link. Again, thanks for listening. Have a great day.